Baby, if you ever wondered who it was absolutely destroying these news, it's probably your boy Dirt Wild DZ. This shit right here should be on YouTube. Yes, this shit right here should be on YouTube.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hope you are having a beautiful and blessed day. I know I am. Today we are going to be discussing one of the new featured game modes that's being cycled through the feature right now, and that is Drop Zone. And this is a game mode that I've actually played on console, and I'm familiar with it. However, as I was playing it today in the COD mobile, I noticed that it doesn't seem like a lot of the people that I am playing with know how the game mode works. So I thought I'd make a video explaining some of the things that will help you to be successful in this game mode. Now, one of the things that is very important even before you start is when you're selecting your class, the score streaks that you pick they don't matter at all. They have absolutely no bearing on the game whatsoever. So in your class, whatever your score streaks are currently don't matter. What do matter are your perks as well as your specialist. The specialist could be whatever you find useful, but you must have in your green perk slot cold-blooded. The cold-blooded perk is a must. I use restock and dead silence because it helps me creep around the map with the dead silence, and the restock I'll explain a little later on in the video when I can actually give you some visual representation. Now, point of the game to win is you have to hold this drop zone. Whatever team holds the drop zone is collecting points, sort of similar to hardpoint. Except once you have the drop zone, and you can either go directly to the drop zone, but I find it best to take a non-direct route so you can catch a few enemies, because getting kills will help you win the game and help you secure the drop zone. But once you have the drop zone, have it secure. Once either team has it secure, this yellow helicopter will start dropping care packages, and it is very important that you and your teammates go and pick up these care packages. I noticed that a lot of teams were not picking up the care packages, and we'd have complete games where at the end of the game I was the only person who had picked up care packages, and I'd have like 12. And these are actual care packages. There's just random score streaks in the box that anyone can pick up throughout the game. Now right there, this is why I use restock, because just like hardpoint, the drop zone is usually filled with enemies. You throw a trip mine or a grenade in there and then restock it in 25 seconds and throw it into the next one. This is for people who want to stay alive and survive. Now, because you're getting so many score streaks, I find it best to try to cycle through them as fast as possible, but you do want to be strategic. Get rid of the small ones. UAVs automatically called in. But if you're playing the game right, you will be getting so many care packages that you can barely put them in. I usually put shield turrets down immediately somewhere that one of my teammates, if they have sense enough to see it and use it, can make it useful. Sentry guns, of course, I use that regularly, so I know how to throw those down quickly to close back areas. But you want to close off areas so that you are the one, your team has access to the care packages. So get rid of the small ones as fast as you can. Things like SAM turrets you throw down so that they can get rid of enemy score streaks as fast as possible. Now there are a few combinations that you can use. SAM turrets, you definitely want to put your SAM turrets down as soon as possible. Now I noticed something that does happen when you're trying to get these boxes. You see they stack on top of each other, and sometimes the first one you won't be able to get the one at the bottom. Now the solution to this is that you call in one of the score streaks that you already have, or you step back. If you step back or take some kind of action and come back, then you'll be able to grab that one that's at the bottom. Or you can just move on, because there's so many everywhere that you can use that one that you don't get as a booby trap to use the ones that you do get on. There are a lot of routes that you can use. One of the things I do not like to use though is the Goliath. The Goliath seems to come in quite a bit, and when it does, I don't know, sometimes I'll get it and then self-destruct it just so that nobody on the enemy team gets it. A lot of times I'll notice if I don't get it, no one on my team will get it. In the enemy team, someone will figure out that it's there and get it. Now, if you do leave it, the enemy team may get it and destroy you, so that is a choice you have to make. A cluster missile in the right place can protect the enemy team from getting it and cut off paths that would lead to the Goliath. So it's a big liability to have Goliaths lying around. Again, you want to call in the score streaks as soon as possible. Use sentry guns to protect the area. If you get a Goliath, maybe throw it off to the side and then put a sentry gun if you can, or a cluster missile to protect that area. Now, chopper gunners seem to be something that I see a lot of in this game mode, to the point where sometimes I have 3 of them back to back. The care packages are so random that you see them a lot. What I do is, if I have chopper gunners or big score streaks like VTOLs, I will wait till I get an EMP or a SAM turret to try to destroy the enemies first so that I am free to use mine. You clear the board with an EMP and then it will allow you to do what you need to with your score streaks. In this clip I have 2 chopper gunners. I'm using my first chopper gunner and it gets destroyed by a SAM turret. Now, instead of waiting till that SAM turret is destroyed or looking on the map to see it's destroyed, I immediately call in my second chopper gunner, and the score is not even close to the game being over, so I could have saved this till a more useful time for it. And things like this could be the difference between you winning and losing a game. So the drones are kind of useful in this game, but they do leave you vulnerable. So if you don't have a sentry gun or a cluster missile, you run the risk of having your actual person being eliminated. However, since you're not running score streaks and the score streaks fall from the sky, you can have fun with this. This is the most I've used the drones since I played the game, and I have been enjoying them. And in some matches, it is the only choice you have because it seems to be that you're just receiving them back to back in the care packages that you're getting. This mode actually gives you a chance to play with all the score streaks. However, sometimes you will be stuck with them because the air is so congested with score streaks. If you get in a lobby where everybody actually knows how to play the game, you'll find yourself just holding score streaks for a while and not being able to play them. When you are using the drones, I would suggest if you have 3 drones, don't use them back to back, because for the whole time that you are using those drones, your body is sitting in the same place, and more than likely an enemy is going to find you. So it's best to use one, move around, and then use another. Maybe even find another score streak or 2, fill the empty spaces for the ones that you used already. The next thing is the orbital. The orbital cannon is another score streak that pops up quite frequently that most people may not use normally. It's pretty good in this game. If you use it very quickly, it'll just free up another space for you to get another score streak, and you can block off enemies' paths with it. It's very useful. A good thing to do is to use your cluster missile or sentry gun to protect you while you're using your controllable score streaks. In this clip, I have a chopper gunner and cluster missile, so first I put the cluster missile down in front of me to create a general area protection to protect my person while I'm actually in the chopper gunner mowing down enemies. Another thing to do is basically do the same thing if you have napalm strikes. Because the score streaks are so random, you may end up with multiple napalm strikes in a chopper gunner or multiple napalm strikes in a VTOL. Use the napalm strikes to cut off the enemy from the area where the most score streaks are, collect them and cycle through them as fast as possible, and before the fire is gone, you may have more napalms, more chopper gunners, so you can really just fill the map up with score streaks, friendly score streaks, and just decimate the enemies. Again, sentry guns are a great way to cut off enemies from the score streaks, and if you look on the radar, you'll see sometimes that there's just a bundle of score streaks piled up in the last area that was the safe zone. So you use lightning strikes, sentry guns to clear those areas, to protect areas and cut off routes that enemies may come to try to get those score streaks, and just keep flooding them with the score streaks that you receive, and you'll be winning every game you play. You don't want to end up holding on to score streaks too long. Sometimes you'll have something like a chopper gunner and you'll have no choice because the skies are so congested. Do what you can. The same thing works with the Predator missile and cluster strikes. Just try to protect the area that you and the care packages are in so that you can maximize you and your team receiving those said score streaks to use against the enemy. Once you start a good rhythm rhythm of getting your score streaks, you will be in complete control. The enemies will barely have a chance to capture the drop zone or the care packages that are being dropped, because you will have air dominance. So the main objective of this game is to not only get the drop zone secure, but to try to secure as many score streak packages as possible. Follow these simple tips and you will be unstoppable in the game of Drop Zone. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and cut on the notifications so that you will be first to get this great content. We'll see you on the next one. We out.